Carolina. I'm Zack Carolina Caniac. This is my co-host Chris Keller from.
What's up, everybody? What's up, man? How you doing, Dave, man? How you doing?
And
God,
I want I want to start this off with something a little bit funny. How is it that we beat the Devils? I understand it, but it's upsetting that they are number one in the East and we have beat them. I understand the schedules. I understand all of that. It's just annoying.
they,
We
they,
beat them.
they
Game
playing,
one.
they playing
Their
some,
only loss is to us.
they playing some wimpy ass teams. That's all I got to say. They just playing some wimpy ass teams. That's the way I can think of it.
Played the three California Kings, Ducks, and Sharks, along with the Flyers. So we haven't done much better in terms of our biggest win is obviously against the Devils.
Yes.
2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, we had the LA game, or not LA, Las Vegas game. And I'll say, I think despite the win, or despite the loss, it was very much a winnable game. I think if we had one or two, I think if we had Gostas there or Slavin, I mean, remember, we have the worst power play in the league, and we're still 5-1. Like, that is,
Yeah.
you could get our power play going, which hopefully it can get over a hump even a little bit. That game was winnable.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I had said before, and when I messaged you earlier today, like I said, I am very much shocked. Whenever it comes to predictions, I'm usually always wrong. Even the playoffs, Stanley Cup Finals, NFL, you name it, I'm always wrong. That's why I don't bet anything. I don't bet money. I don't bet nothing. But I'm very much surprised that when we had our video last week, you asked me about it, and I said, "Well, you said, where do you think was going to happen?" I said, "I knew we were going to beat the Ducks.
Yep.
I knew we were going to beat the Kings. It might be a little tough. I did not see that going into overtime as it did, which was kind of a shock to me. But we beat them. And then we go into Las Vegas. And I even said, Las Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights are a very fast-paced, very, very tight-knit team. I could not see us winning that. And sure enough, what happened?
And
we
it was
4-1. Now, to your point, if we had Slavin, yeah, maybe. I don't know what happened to Gostisbehere. I don't know what happened to him. I hope he makes a recovery soon. I hope he's back. But the fact that he went down and now, we lose 4-1. It's looking pretty good right now for my prediction, which I'm kind of shocked about a little bit. But
none of those goals. We beat the Kings. I think this needs to be brought up. Bussy is undefeated. He won both, and yes, it's the Kings and the Sharks. Yeah. But I was a little surprised they brought him in for LA. And the fact that he held it down in a game that I predicted they would lose just because I was like, we'll see. Like, we're a better team, but I was just like, I didn't see us going 5 in a row to start. We usually have bad starts. So the fact that our rookie, like literal second game of his career was able to get us through that hump and continue up until that point, undefeated streak, was phenomenal. And you deserve all the credit for that.
Yeah.
So what we do not need credit for is our awful power play. And I don't know what needs to change. I still say we need to put Miller on line one, or we need to throw Nikishin on line. We need to do something because, obviously four forwards and one D-man on the power play one is not doing it. But I don't think having a second defender necessarily works unless they have that grip to him, that little something that they're, Nikishin's going to throw you into the boards and act like nothing happened. I love.
It's like I said before, and we kind of caught, I believe it was either LA or against Las Vegas. We saw a little bit with Keandre Miller on that line, on the first line, on that power play. Yeah, I really think you need to take maybe Svechnikov off and throw another D-man out there, get Nikishin or get Chatfield out there. Get somebody out there. But again, I really think, we need Slavin back. We need him back. Okay, we just need him back. And
he's our superstar.
He's our superstar defenseman next to, I still feel, next to Keandre Miller. Yes. I mean, I see it as Keandre Miller is our number 2, even though Gostisbehere there, Chatfield, now Nikishin, I still feel like Keandre Miller is our number 2 in defense. But yeah, our power play, oh, man.
Well, we got the power. We have the penalty kill. We have one of the best penalty kills, and this is, I think, part of the culture is the fact that we grind them down. So what should be, an odd man advantage where the defending team is kind of they're on the back foot. The Canes don't allow them to be on the back foot, even down a man. Now you put us in a 3-on-5 situation, or eventually it doesn't work all the time. But we are able to grind it out where traditionally, most teams struggle at that. So I wonder if that's part of Rod's overall plan is if I can't do a power play, I'll score on the penalty.
I'll get it on the penalty kill. But you know what? That's the difference, though, is going to take you deep into the playoffs, especially to the finals, is getting your power play to connect, getting your power play to work. And this, again, I mean, the fact that we have made it to the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, despite our power play sucking,
twice
it speaks volumes. But Rod, get the power play working, man. I'm getting sick and tired of this.
Thousands, tens of thousands of fans. Pick any of us. If you're going to blend up the lines, let Chris over here take a shot at it.
Please. I will happily email Rod and go, hey, here's a line combination. Try this. Oh, here's a tactic. Try this. But you know what? Rod's won a Stanley Cup. I ain't even touched foot in the NHL. He's not going to listen to me, but something's got to give. Because, again, if it's not Tim Gleason doing it, it's Rod. Rod, you need to change it up a little bit, bro. Change it up, man.
The buck needs to stop with him, which, I mean, at the end of the day, did you see the tracksuit he wore today for tryouts or what? Or not tryouts, warm-ups or what? He looked like a mall walker, but low-key, I kind of want to buy it. I kind of want to buy it.
I saw that. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that thing. You couldn't pay me enough to wear that, man. Like, no way. What was he thinking? Ugh. What was he thinking?
They're
that's just sick,
the
man. That's just
you know what? I mean, I will say, I think we've only scored 2 power play goals this entire season so far. One of them actually being against the not against the Golden Knights, against the Ducks, I believe it was.
Ducks or Kings, yeah.
Yeah, the Kings, my bad. But I would like to point out, Jarvis is still on a 6-game point streak. He got an assist. He's got, multiple I think he's had 2 games with 2 goals so far. Like he's doing phenomenal. And finally, Ehlers got a point. It was a secondary assist. And they were breaking it down on the Kane subreddit, and I looked into it. He is the most unlucky player in the entire NHL this season so far. And it's only been, 8 games for different teams at most. But we bought this superstar, and there has to be some sort of black magic cloud, because we can have, last season it was going great, and then Freddie had his 6 months out. Ehlers is having this drought, and it's like we can put there's always just something missing, and there has to be some dark magic above us.
You know what I find interesting is if you look back at Ehlers when he played with the Jets, it was usually against LA, it was usually against Vegas, sometimes even Colorado, like those top tier teams that he would score the most against, that he would contribute the most. And yet I look at him now and it's kind of like, man, I still feel like he is still struggling to find his way with this team. But at the same time, you know what? Yes, kudos to him. He finally got an assist. He got an apple, even though it was the only goal that they scored against Vegas that night.
And it was Aho who scored it. Thank you. Fishy. I mean, and I still say my long-term prediction early on is I think Jarvis is going to eclipse Aho this season. And I love them both, and I think it's a fun rivalry, friendship, pushing forward. But I've liked Jarvis from afar for several seasons. So seeing him blossom and doing better than Aho just to start the season is something I'm excited about. Not because I think Aho is bad, but because I think Jarvis deserves some of that spotlight.
How interesting will it be if Jarvis outshines and outplays, outscores, out whatever Sebastian Aho and Svechnikov together?
That would be, I mean, listen, that's why we locked him up so early. Because with he has a PhD in statistics and economics, or some crazy mathematician stuff. If anyone's going to be the one to find these deals, it's going to be Tulsky, and it's going to be Carolina Hurricane. And we have a great coach in Rod, despite his obvious power play mishaps, and the fact that Rod Blindamore will mix up those lines at the first sign of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll get it turned around. But you know what? The big matchup tonight, I'm ecstatic about this because I guess I hadn't paid attention enough until I got the email from Carolina about this. Every Hurricanes fan, even if you hate Colorado with a passion,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them just because I don't like them. Okay, I got a buddy, like I said, I got a buddy who's our team captain for our beer league team. He's a huge Colorado fan, but to see this matchup tonight, not just the players, I'm talking
The
unis, man. The
Whalers.
Whalers and the fact that the Colorado Avalanche are debuting the return of the Nordique, the Quebec
Yes.
Nordiques jersey. I was static. I was just head over heels when I saw the pictures in the trailer or the video that they released on it. I was just like,
Yeah. You know what it reminds me a little bit of? It's because of the French, the influence in both. The St. Louis Blues and their little was it the three trident thing or whatever? Yeah, like we're both Blues fans, second at heart. But it's so nice to see that, and it's nice to see that the Nordiques. It's not just a one-off. I think they're doing like 10 different games with it against Montreal. I know Toronto's one of them. Boston, us. I think Toronto's or the Canadians are another one out of Montreal. It's so nice to see. And I saw a conspiracy theory that I would, if it were to happen, I would love it. Seeing the Quebec Nordiques be one of the 4 expansion teams, because I know we're going to expand to 36. That's we know that's the end goal. And listen, I think Kansas City deserves one. I think Houston. No, you don't want. Hold up, what?
No,
what?
We're not taking away from St. Louis, all right?
No, but you can. That would be a perfect rivalry. No. Chicago sucks right now.
No.
Imagine.
No. Hey, let me put it this way. Okay,
Chicago and St. Louis in one division. That would be like, I personally think we need to, and I know you'll probably disagree. I think we need to kick the Pennsylvania teams out of our the Metro and bring in the 2 Florida ones. I think we need. Yeah, see, exactly. I knew that was the face you. But
I will take. You know what? I would rather take Tampa Bay in our division than Florida.
Panthers. I mean, yeah, I would know both. I think we should get rid of Pittsburgh, get rid of Philly, put them up there with everyone else with the original, and then give us Tampa and give us Florida. It would.
If I had to, I'm sorry, man. I can't. I gotta stop you right there. If I had to pick between the two, I will keep Flyers. I will keep the Philadelphia Flyers because I know we can kick their asses any day of the week. Pittsburgh, they can go away for all I care. I don't give a crap about the golden yellow or golden whatever the fuck their name. I can't. The Penguins, man. They got me. I can't even talk straight because of them. But and as far as trading, take away the Pittsburgh and give me Tampa Bay.
Okay,
keep the Panthers and everything. I don't want the Panthers in our division. I get mad every year.
Strong rivalry. I think that would be a great rivalry to follow, like right there. That would be, and I know they're a tough team. They're a dirty team. We all don't like Bennett and such, but we are the 2. I mean, you have to admit, right now we are the 2 strongest teams. If the playoffs were to start tomorrow, it would probably be us and Florida in the conference, assuming both teams are healthy. If both teams were healthy, if the whole league was healthy, it would be Carolina and Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals again today.
Okay, in that case, who are you taking? Don't
stop it. So going into the rest of this week.
You can't even say it. You know damn well if that was the case, Florida would win it possibly in 5 again.
They might even win it.
Prove me wrong.
But imagine if we played them in the first or second round instead. So we didn't have to play
them. We'd still get bounced.
Well, I mean, I will say I love they're my team. But if we can't beat them, we're not cup contenders. And so luckily we have the rest of the season to build up. I think we played them in December or January. I could be wrong, the Panthers. So that's going to be a very strong indicator where we're going.
But you know what? It's these matchups, these particular matchups, especially tonight, the last one against Vegas, those are the types of games that we need to keep putting ourselves in and saying, where do we stand when it comes to competition? Mm-hmm. Because again, Vegas is there, regardless of what their record says, even having Marner, Eichel, you name it, they are a fast-paced, hard-hitting, you're shoving it down your throat type of team. Colorado is just another version of that in an area that's kind of cold. Okay. Colorado has always been built to be a cup contending team. And even though, yes, they won it in, I think it was what, 21, 22, somewhere around there, 21, 22.
Yeah.
They won it. They finally did it. But even though they've had some flaws here and there, they are still a team to be reckoned with and not to be messed with. But now, again, as we've mentioned before, we have some reunions.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, I will say tonight, beyond the Nordique Whaler, seeing Nietzsche, seeing Drury, seeing Burns, like I'm excited to see them. As a Canes fan, like I can tell you here in North Carolina at least, the atmosphere is we're the disaster bros. Like there's no super hard feelings. I'm not a huge fan of the Avalanche because the Blues, but but they're a team
Bridge.
just a Carolina, taking out that half, just focusing on Carolina. They're a team I'm happy to play. They're a team I'm excited to watch them play in our house. I'm excited to see Nietzsche come back, especially with the rumors that he's looking to leave Colorado in this offseason because whatever. It's interesting. I will say Nietzsche. I hope he doesn't turn into a drama queen or what have you.
A diva.
A diva,
like
yeah.
Rogers.
Like that's not what we want.
No. At
the end of the day, like Nietzsche's is, if he didn't fit in here, which I 100% agree. Him and Rod just had completely different ideas of what Nietzsche's what is better at one thing. Rod tried to, he just wasn't part of our system. And I think after the Rantanen ordeal, when we finally got Stankoven, Hall, and Jankowski, we got the better end of the stick. Nietzsche's got what he needed. He made it to the second round, I think it was. Yeah. Against Winnipeg. We got all the way to the conference finals again and finally got our first win since we played in 06 or whatever. Think about it. We got swept by, I think it was the Sabres in 09. We got swept by Florida in 2013 or 2023. And then 2025, we also got swept. We finally got our first win. So it was exciting. We finally got over a hump. But I'm excited for this game, and I'm even excited to see on Saturday us against Dallas. That is going to be a game I'm excited for because it's a team we should win. It's a team that is possibly a cup contender, so it's a good gauge. But it's not as you said, Vegas just shoving it down your throat.
Yeah, I mean, I look at tonight, and as far as from what I can recall, this will be the first matchup that Colorado and Carolina has had since the trade. Mm-hmm. So I see this as not so much from Burns because Burns made his choice, but I see it with Jack Drury, especially Marty Nietzsche, depending on the outcome of the game. So the way I look at it is if Colorado wins, I can definitely – he's obviously not going to say it, but I can kind of see it as Marty Nietzsche's looking at it going, yep, I made the right decision. Mm-hmm. If Carolina wins, I can see him going, damn it, I should have stayed. I should have stayed because – he could have been, even having Stankoven and Jankowski, if he had stayed, I wonder if he was that final, if he could have been that one player that could have pushed us past Florida last year and made it a little bit more competitive and taken the series a little bit longer. So it's definitely going to be a good matchup. And like I said, these guys have been longtime friends, teammates. Emotions are going to run high.
And how much is he taking from our team? Like, we all know when you're traded, you're telling all the deets. You know everything. If you're playing a team that you were just on, you're telling your locker room, hey, this is how they do things because you want to win. You're not going to be like, well, I know they're going to do this, but I'm not going to say anything because you're trying to win. Friendship aside, this hockey game is 60 minutes. Whoever has the most points wins. So, it will be interesting to see because we don't even have, I don't think we held on to, did we only get Rantanen in that trade? So we haven't held on to any of Colorado's, we don't have any of that insider information or whatever you want to call it, but I still think we're the better team. And I think, have they announced if Gost is back or who's taking his spot tonight?
So apparently Rod said on Monday, the Gostisbehere has been sent home. Okay. So in his absence, they are bringing up and calling up Charles Alexis Legault. Okay. He's going to be, it is only his second NHL game tonight. Mm-hmm. And it says K'Andre Miller is going to shift from the second power play to the first power play group, while Jesperi Kotkaniemi is set to take the opening on power play number 2. So as of tonight, we're finally going to see K'Andre Miller on that first line. Let's see if they can actually contribute any.
Ehlers, Jarvis, and who's the fifth guy on that line?
Power play number 2?
One.
So Jarvis, Aho, Ehlers, Svechnikov, Miller.
Svechnikov. Okay. I wonder, and who's normally on the? Oh, Gostisbehere is usually on the. I wonder if switching Svech and Ghost might. I'm excited to see Miller on here regardless. I'm a little shaky on Svechnikov, and I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded by the end of the season. I don't want that to happen, but I think of all the players, he has the highest return for other teams and has given us some of the least returns in the 6 games we've had. Love him to death again. But I do wonder if having a too strong demon would be better than Svech and move him down to that 2P position.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But and as far as who they're going to start in net tonight, it seems to be that it's a little undecided because yes, Anderson suffered his first loss on Monday. He's 3-1 with a save percentage of .894 and 2.46 goals allowed. I mean, again, that's not a bad start. You look at Bussy. I really hope I'm saying his name right. Bussy, whatever. You know, he's got a save percentage of 1.911 right now with goals allowed of 1.97. Mm-hmm. Do you go with Bussy tonight? Would I? No. I would go with my experience. I would go with Anderson because obviously, again, Kochetkov is good. He's ready to go. He's just not on the team for this road trip, which is why I say they're not going to play him. He's obviously not with the team. So I feel that when we have that home game on the 28th against Vegas, I think that's when Rod will be like, okay, we're going to send Busey down. Anderson's going to be our backup. Peter, Kochetkov, you're our starter. Get her rolling for us. And I really think that would be a good welcoming, like, hey, welcome back, man. We missed you. You're at home against Vegas. Now go kick their butts.
See, I do wonder. I wonder if they'll put Frederick. I think, and we'll find out next week. I think they'll put Freddie in against Vegas, and then Peter will be in there against the Islanders. That's just what I would think. Just because of he's been, I don't want to say rusty, but he hasn't played since the preseason. And I do agree. Like they're going to send Busey down to the minors. Like he's only up because if we send him down, then Florida can call him right back off. So we need him up for 30 days. But I could either way, I think Cooch is going to be an amazing goalie and he's going to do great wherever he is. But maybe waiting till the Islanders is a sure bet. So that way you don't get any of the yips.
And that could happen. I mean, but at this point, it's like it doesn't matter who's in net as long as they're standing on their head and they bring their game and the defense is solid. Again, I've not heard much about this Charles Alexis Legal, if I'm even saying his name right, but calling him up from the Chicago Wolves. We'll see how he does. But as long as again, you got Keandre Miller, Chatfield, Nikishin. I was a little harsh. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little harsh with Nikishin at that one point when one of the goals that he led up. Just one of those plays where it's like, dude, you got to simplify the game. Don't try to dangle. Quit trying to be cute with the puck at the blue line. Just shoot it on net or dump it in, man.
Yep.
Like, come on, that goal that was off of him is kind of like, all right, shake it off. Yeah. Well, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. But like, dude, come on, you got to simplify the game a little bit.
Speaking of dump-ins, that is something. There was another stat that was going around the Reddit forum. We have successfully transitioned from the controlled entries to the dump-ins, and I know that's the style of hockey, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. But you got to do what you got to do to win. Florida's shown this is the winning style of hockey at the moment, and that's something I think our team does need credit for. Like it's hard. Most teams they get great at their style of hockey, and then either they win a cup. They lose a cup, and then it transitions to not a new style, but new tactics come up. And it's really hard for a team that's been to the conference finals twice, that's been a cup contender more or less for 3 or 4, not a cup champion, but a cup contender for 3 to 4 years, to be able to make that transition and do it really well. And Carolina's proven that we can do it. Like they're out. They are still number 2 in the division. I say number 1. I don't care about New Jersey. Fuck that. We beat them in game 1. I don't care. They cannot. I don't even know who they lost to. I don't care. We are their. They lost to us. So I don't care. We're number 1 in my heart. And I give it a couple more games and we'll see where the standings go. But I think. Yes, Nikishin needs to, and it's also just kind of that transition. Like this is more or less his rookie year. He had, I think, maybe one. He had no regular season games and had a couple postseason games when we had some terrible injuries in the conference finals and second round. So, and going on to your point about Ehlers, like Yeah, he is, or Ehlers, he's having some trouble getting in. I wonder how much of that is the difference between West Conference and East Conference hockey styles.
I mean, it's definitely a change because, again, you look at it like which division is the strongest out of all four of them. And
Central.
sorry, something just popped up on my screen.
Oh, you're good. I thought that's what I said about the
It's
Central.
like it gave me like a reminder. Like meeting ends in like 10 minutes. So like,
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay. So you know what? Yeah, when you look at it, yes, the Central Division is definitely has always been the strongest with Winnipeg, Colorado, Minnesota, St. Louis.
We don't count Minnesota. They don't do nothing.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll throw out Minnesota, but I mean, with having some in some years having Dallas, it is a strong division. But if you are not able to, the thing is like if you are not able to go from a really strong division of all of them from the Central and come into the Metropolitan. I can't even say it right. Thank you, Metropolitan. Thank you. The Metropolitan Division, where some of the teams, like if you look at again, I look at the Philadelphia Flyers, Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Islanders, sometimes even the Pittsburgh Penguins at times. Those have been over the last few years some of the weakest teams in our division. If you can't even come across and put a butt whooping, a foot pounding, stomping kind of on those teams, well, then what do we trade you for? Because you went up against some pretty good talent, St. Louis.
And more on the point is, to my understanding, and I'm a little bit of a younger fan, isn't the West Coast typically more grindy, whereas the East Coast is more fast paced? Yes. And so, like you said, he did great. He did great against the Kings, or not the Kings, but like he put up effort in those games. He got an assist against the Vegas Golden Knights. His weakest games were literally against the Devils and the Flyers. I mean, the Flyers, we were beating them regardless, so that's okay. And it was only the second game of the season.
Yeah.
But it is something to think about. Like maybe it does appear that he's having a little bit tougher time transitioning. But someone said this on, there was a discussion about, what's your take on the team 6 games in? And someone said, this is the team we have in October. It will be different from the one we have in November, different from the one we have in March. Like, this is only a snapshot. And I think what we can glean from this snapshot is our team is fucking great with some things that need to be fixed. Yes. Nothing's perfect.
Yes, there's no denying about it. We have a solid team. We have a good team. And again, having Stankoven, Jankowski, and again, the additions of Ehlers. Again, it's 6 games into the season. Ehlers at some point will find his way. He'll find his game back. And then when he does, he's going to be unstoppable, especially when it comes to playoffs. Keandre Miller is going to continue to be a force to be reckoned with on D. Once we get Slavin back and even Gostisbehere, then nobody's going to want to mess with us. Okay, well, as long as we keep having that edge, we will be okay throughout the season.
And no, keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just looking at it like if we look at the Metropolitan standings right now, yes, I have to admit I'm looking at it because I don't want to. I don't like it, but we have to.
Yeah. Okay, so we know who's first. We're number 2, followed by Pittsburgh in 3rd. What is this?
Pittsburgh and Washington are right behind us, which means if we lose tonight and those 2 teams play and win, we drop into the 4th. That's not going to look good. But again, it's a long season. We have plenty of time to figure things out.
We need to. I want to put it into context. I think. Remember this. Look at Steve Dangle and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I bet he would kill for his team to be doing what we're doing. So, we're being harsh or a little bit, but I do want to point out our team is so we are still a top 3 to top 5 team in the league overall on our great days. And so, there's teams like the Blues. I love them. The Toronto Maple Leafs. There are so many teams that wish they could do what we've done just in the first 6 games. I'm not gonna lie, I love watching Steve Dangle. I love his episodes. I will admit, I only tune into the episodes where he's losing his mind. Because that's obviously where the entertainment is, that's where the most joy is, and that's the most where I can sit there and go, it sucks to be a Leafs fan.
But
2-5 against the Devils. 2-5 against the Devils.
I know if you look at it now, I'm looking at the Atlantic, and you've got Montreal that's in first, and for me, that is a bit of a shocker compared to how they've been the last few years. Mm-hmm. Detroit second. You obviously got Florida that's third. They're about 500 right now, and then you look at Toronto. They're fourth. They're about 500 right now. 3-3-1. But what's shocking is that they're still doing better than compared to Boston, Ottawa, and the Lightning. The Lightning are 1-3, 1-3-2 right now. That's shocking.
I don't think Tampa makes the playoffs. Or if they
I hope they don't. I hope they don't.
So we got about 4 minutes left. I do want to transition to the last little part. Looking forward, we have 3 games between now and next podcast. Tonight against Colorado.
Yep.
Saturday against Dallas. We get 2-day break again. Come home. We'll play the Vegas Golden Knights. And then the day of our podcast, we will talk about the pregame for the New York Islanders. What's your prediction for these next 3 games? Since
right, so
hit the mark so far.
I still feel tonight is going to be an emotional one just because you've got old friends and old teammates coming together. And again, displaying the Whalers and the Nordiques. But at the end of the day, I could see it also being a very close one. Carolina rebounds from the loss of Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. But I still feel Colorado will come away with it solely because of Nichas, because of McKinnon. I think those guys are going to put the pounding. I guess I could see it being maybe a 2-goal, 3-goal game difference, but I feel Colorado will come out on top of that for tonight's matchup. I'm being hopeful that we'll rebound. If we win, great. You proved me wrong again. If we lose, I'm glad I was right.
Yeah. I'll say I think Colorado wins, but I think it will be like 3-2 or I always, let me preface this. Anytime I give a score, empty netters count, but I don't really count them towards, if I think it's 3-2 and then they score an empty netter and it's 4-2, like I count that as the same. It's an empty netter. What are you going to do? So, but I agree with you. I think Colorado is going to win this one. What about Dallas on Saturday? And we even get an 8 p.m. start time for us Eastern fans. So much better.
I'm looking at Dallas right now, and they have lost the last 3 in a row. They're 3-3, about 500. They're 7th in the Central Division. Mm-hmm. I see us taking that one. If we could get Slavin back by then, I doubt it's going to happen, but if we can get Slavin back by then, mm-hmm. I could see us winning that one on the road for sure, ending the road trip that we've got at least. That's what, 6 games? 6 games on the road?
Yeah.
Am I getting that right?
3 Central, 3 California.
So basically finishing out 4-2. That's a good way to end it. Instead of going 3-3, it's a good way to end it. So again, with Dallas being on the slow end of things during their season, I could see us taking that one, again, being a 2-goal, 1-goal kind of differential. Mm-hmm. And then obviously we got the home game against Vegas. And I honestly feel with having home ice advantage, Vegas traveling, potentially getting, again, having Slavin back, hopefully, maybe getting Gostisbehere back at that point. And again, if I was Rod, this is just what I would do. I would start Kochetkov.
Yeah.
I would start him. Now, if he looks bumpy and he starts giving up some softies, obviously throw Anderson in. But again, with the roar of the crowd, being on home ice.
We are the loudest stand. We were voted by players the hardest to beat in their home barn.
Exactly.
For a reason. I had a lot of support on that video in the playoffs where I called people out for leaving game 1 early. But so many people in the comments agreed with me. Why are you going to a game? You know that you're part of the product here, part of it. You want to be. And there's people like you and me who would kill to be able to go to more games than we can. That's so right. The fact that it shows that we are this loud, yeah, I think we're going to win the
we'll win. I feel like we will take it at home against Vegas, get that retribution from the last game. I would very much like to see, I'm throwing this prediction out there. I would very much love to see Ehlers get his first goal against Vegas. I would love to see it, even have maybe even see him get 2. But you know what? Aho finally got his first. Svechnikov has yet to score. So I can see Svechnikov, Ehlers, definitely those guys scoring their first at home against Vegas. And
my prediction for my 30 seconds before it breaks, I think we're going to close one, but I think Colorado might inch it. However, I think it's 60-40. We have a good chance of winning. I do think we're going to beat Dallas. I think that one's they lost to the Blues 3-1 in the Blues barn. Like, just saying. And I think we're going to beat Vegas. If we